1997 saw the birth of a new major oval racing track, the California Speedway. Never being repaved, California Speedway and later Auto Club Speedway climbed track rankings and became beloved by NASCAR fans just in time for most of the land the track sat on to be sold off and the track demolished in 2023 and 2024. Thankfully, iRacing captured this racetrack in its prime and froze it in time for sim racers everywhere, including the Icon Cup Series this very evening. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Fontana, California. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV, and it is a pleasure to join you as always for continuing coverage of the 2024 Icon Cup Series. Tonight's coverage from California is brought to you by Whiplash Simcams, by ATVO, by CC's Business, and now by Cody Williams Designs. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Race 23 on the season. Ready to get into action. 120 laps on the card this evening. It's going to be a long one for these guys. It's going to be a test of endurance, I feel like, in just that little bit of a way. It's not a super long race, but it is just long enough to feel like it's going to be a while. A bit like last week at Atlanta, where it's just long enough to feel like it's an endurance race for these drivers. It's not too long, not too crazy. It's just long enough. I think 120 laps, really good length here. In fact, in the Luke's Playhouse 200, just a week and a couple of days ago, we saw 100 laps. That was a solid race length, but this extra 20 laps is about the length of stage 1, and it's going to just extend this race ever so slightly enough, where I think it's going to benefit from it. But here we go. Here's a look at the track map. Of course, we're racing around the big D-shaped oval, 2 miles in length, pit speed of 55 miles per hour. Opened, like I said, in 1997, closed in 2023, and one of my original home tracks. I cannot believe this place is off of the calendar and now demolished. Just the front stretch remains, and only a section of the front stretch remains at this point. It's so unfortunate, but thankfully we have the track in iRacing for all of us to enjoy and go racing on this evening. Point standings coming into tonight. Let's take a look at them. Brian Smith up top, and oh, hello. Look at position number 6, Charlie Widener, now locked in on points. So Brian Smith on top, Vincent Loria, Nathan Finnegan, Ryan Patty now with 2 wins, Timothy Harper, they are all in the playoffs, although if Timothy Harper misses another race, he will be out of the playoffs. And I do see a car 12 tonight, it looks like. Where is he on the board? I think he just connected. Yes, so he hasn't run a practice time yet, but he must have gotten the message. If he does not run the last 3 races here of the regular season, he is out of the playoffs. So good on him for being here this evening. Charlie Widener is now locked in. That is now 6 positions off the board, but that leaves 10 on the board for these last 3 races. And I think after tonight, Justin Bissonette, Jacob Glangelich, Kyle Purcell, they're all going to lock in. That should solidify 3 more spots. Then Adam Ball is going to be right on the fringe. He might even lock in after this race. We're going to knock a few off the board very quickly. Joshua Clemens is right on the cusp of locking in on points right now. Kevin Gunther is getting closer as well. But then you look at the cut line. Hello, Brad Delph now in, Brock Hersey out, and Cody Neal is now out for the first time this season of 2024. He is now 18th, 25 points below the cutoff line, and guess what? He leads practice right now. So, excuse me, a little bit of drama here. He comes into tonight 25 points below the cut line. He's leading practice. He's missed the last handful of races. He's had bad starts, well, bad race at Pocono anyway, where he was absolutely demolished in turn 1 very early on in that race. So Cody Neal trying to right the ship, turn things around, and get back into the playoffs here. He doesn't want to miss them. He's just had to miss a couple of races, been out of town lately, is back in town, back in the seat, ready to go at it this evening from 18th spot. And if he can do it, so too can Evan Patinko. I think otherwise, if you're Anthony DeSeo on down, you are in a must-win situation, and it's even close for Cody Neal and Evan Patinko. Very close to being must-win situation, but for Brad Delph, Brock Hersey, it's straight up a toss-up. Just go out there, race, and get what you can, because if you can get stage points, awesome. Maybe it's a little bit extra cushion, but it's straight up racing the other guy to the finish line tonight. for Brad Delph and Brock Hersey. 2-point separation on that cut line. That's going to be some drama this evening, and I'm looking forward to it here in race 23 after 22 of 37. A look at the Icon Cup Series schedule as well shows you that this is race 23. Race 24 next up is at Richmond, Michigan, then after, and that will be the end of the regular season already in 2024. It feels like we just got started still, and we're already coming up on the end of the regular season. California, Richmond, and Michigan. 3 D-shaped ovals to cap off the regular season. Then we go to Daytona, Darlington, and Atlanta for the first round of the Icon Cup Series playoffs. Then we go to Watkins Glen, Bristol, Kansas, then Talladega, Charlotte, and Las Vegas, and finally, the 3-race round of 4, Miami, Martinsville, and Phoenix. So with a look at everything that you could possibly want before we go racing this evening, the track map, the points, the schedule, it's time for qualifying. Cars are hitting the track. We've got a healthy field of, I believe, 31 checking in this evening, and we are about to go racing in just about 5 more minutes. Cars are on the racetrack. We're going to be talking about them all night long. Let's take a look at a couple of newcomers. First up, including Charles Woods. In fact, so new, we didn't even get a number graphic built for this guy. So Charles Woods, brand new to us, but I see that he's got Purple Heart Homes on the hood of that car. I was at Hickory Motor Speedway last night with the Carolina Crate Modifieds and Carolina Pro Late models, and one of the Crate Modifieds had Purple Heart Homes on their car. In fact, the race was presented by Purple Heart Homes. A really cool tie-in. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But Purple Heart Homes there on the hood of the 40 car, brand new to the series. We also have a brand new 07 car waiting to hit the racetrack. That'll be Logan Romney when he gets on the racetrack this evening. But nobody's set a time just yet. They're all coming around to do so for their first time. Here's Robert Bluen. Bryant Lucas is back in the field in the number 60 for Pit Stop TV and Whiplash Sim Cams. Good to see him back today as he works down the backstretch in that metallic number 60 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And first on the board is car 04, Sean Purcell, followed up by Adam Ball and everybody else flying across the start-finish line. Times are rolling in. Let's ride to the start-finish here with Bryant Lucas, though. Up out of turn 4. Let's see, how's he looking to that qualifying timer? Pole time so far is a 48.21, so he's about a half second off, and that is now Vincent Loria to the top of the board in the Pit Stop TV U.S. Air Force Ford Mustang. Logan Romney now hitting the racetrack in his beautiful, hard to read, but beautiful 07 Toyota Camry. Glad to have him joining the series this evening, a new part-timer joining the fold. Ryan Patty, top of the board, second lap out. That's a 40.694. Josh Clemens, just 15 one-thousandths of a second off. Here comes Vincent Loria to the start-finish line. Can he do better? It's going to be a 7.63. That is not good enough for pole, and that lap did not count anyway. He will stay 5th for now. Nathan Brzezowski goes to 6th. Who's on lap 2 here? Let's go down to Cody Neal. The gold Ford Mustang. He's coming around to begin lap number 1, so a little bit early in his qualifying run. Here he goes across the line, right down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make lap 1 count. Had to catch my breath for a second. We have a lot of cars this evening. Here's Cody Neal, Logan Romney also on the racetrack, Zach Lockett in the GOAT Racing diecast Chevrolet Camaro. Brian Smith, 9 wins now on the season. He's here. And looking quick. Well, I say quick. He qualifies 18th so far. Let's see what Cody Neal can do, though. Coming to the stripe. Might have just tagged the wall on corner exit. Down to the apron. Is that lap going to count? No. That lap did not count. It would have been a 41.564. And boy, that would have been off pace. He must have run the wall there. So 41.546 rather would have been actually somewhere towards the very back of the field. Jacob Smith, though, goes up to the 4th spot. Hello, car 21 going fast. And Brian Smith goes from the back of the field to the front of the field, a 6.87 for the 78 car. Let's see what Cody Neal has to answer that. Out of turn number 4 to the start-finish line, Cody Neal looking to beat. It's not going to happen. It's a 48.16, and it does count. It'll go 9th on the board. Zach Lockett's still on a lap here. He comes across the start-finish line. Going to be a 41.11, and that will keep him towards the back of the field in qualifying. In fact, that lap did not count, so he will stay about a half-second off pace. There's a look at Timothy Harper. He is here this evening in the Premier Racing Setups number 12. And that about does it for qualifying. I don't see anybody left to turn a time except for a couple of drivers at the very back of the field. 32 in all this evening tuning in, checking in, I should say. 32 cars, a very healthy field here at California, and we're going to be racing into the night. Let's take a look at weather conditions. 78.7 degrees in the air, 84 on track, warm up now hitting the track. And we'll take a look at some of the paint schemes throughout the field that maybe we didn't get a look at during qualifying. Always fun to do. Anthony Campbell is back in the 73 car. Haven't seen this Subway Ford Mustang in a while. Good to see him back with us. Here's a look at Bryant Lucas in the pit lane, waiting to go back out. Sean Purcell in the 04 is, of course, here. Cody Eldred in the 32, Stephen Tuck in the 10. All these drivers working out of the track. Joshua Clemens in the 44. Justin Bissonette. Now, Justin submitted a driver photo a couple of days ago. Didn't have time to get it added today, but we'll have that for Richmond in a week. Waylon Turner's here, making his second start of the season. A new paint scheme for that Premier Racing Setup 03 car, it looks like. And I do like that, actually. That looks really good, working down the pit lane. That's got a nice gradient on it and everything. So the Premier Racing Setup's Firelight Ford Mustang looking good. He'll work up onto the speedway this evening in front of car 12. And that, of course, is Timothy Harper. Talk about him needing to make a start this evening, including next week at Richmond and the week after at Michigan. He's got to make these last 3 races or he does not make the playoffs. He's got that win from Bristol, a ticket in, but he's got to make these races, and he hasn't been recently. So we're pulling for Harper to make these races, run these races, and still make the playoffs and bring a fight here for the championship. Kyle Purcell this evening goes fastest in warm-up, a 40.578. Charlie Widener nearly got a win last week at Atlanta, was just a few spots short of that battle to the line. He's, of course, here in car 95. Ryan Patty back in that same winning paint scheme from a week ago at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I think that's the paint scheme also that won at Darlington, but we weren't here for that one. So, hey, maybe that's the one to go with if you're Ryan Patty. Go with the one that's been working, the one that gets you to victory lane. Who knows? Two minutes left in warm-up. Want to talk about what else is upcoming here at Pit Stop TV. There's a lot of racing on the way. Next up, we head out to the Milwaukee Mile tomorrow night for the Misfit Touring Summer Series as they go racing in the 5th round of 7 for their monthly Summer Series. It's interesting how they've worked summer to be about 7 months long, from April all the way to, I think, October. But hey, more power to them. It's going to be a long summer stretch for sure for these guys, but they're going racing again tomorrow night, August 5th, at the Milwaukee Mile in their late model stock cars. Then on Tuesday, it is a dawn of a new era with the BRB Butt Kicker Cup Series. Seems like every year we're going to have a different Butt Kicker Cup Series. They're so involved in sim racing, it's not even funny. They are really into it, and it's really cool to see Butt Kicker's involvement and activation within sim racing. But Adam Buzeo, Evan Patinko, and others could be a part of that Butt Kicker Cup Series. Patinko, of course, runs over here in the Icon Cup Series, and that's how this connection was formed They'll be going to Indianapolis tomorrow night for race number 9 of 18, so picking up just before halfway in their season. They go to Indianapolis next, and then Eldora. So a big swing between those couple of tracks that we have coming up next with them. And then we head out to Phillip Island Circuit in Australia with the North American Racing League on August 10th. So a week from yesterday, Saturday, this coming Saturday, we go racing for the championship in the North American Racing League at Phillip Island. And each class is wide open right now, with Kevin Cantonio unable to make the next race at Phillip Island, the final race, I should say, at Phillip Island. Adam Ball has a new paint scheme on his car this week. There's a look at it. He's got his Lego minifigure riding along with him. There you go. You can see it on the spoiler. But car 19, a new look. Good to see him here this evening from Collar City Racing with that new look on the 19 car. Love the black and green. It's going to look great under the lights. We need more green race cars. I know there's a superstition about green race cars being bad luck, but I don't believe that. I don't buy into that. So we need some more green race cars. Drivers, if you're hearing this, let's get some more green cars on the racetrack. With qualifying and warm-up now out of the way, we can go racing. Let's take a look. Oh, David Levine. Oh, if I knew he was watching, I wouldn't even said anything. No, we don't need green race cars. Yes, we do. We need more green race cars. David, you just had to come in right then. But let's take a look at the CC's Business starting grid. Brian Smith on pole, no surprise there. He has been fast all season, 9 wins on the season, in fact. Everybody chasing car 78, and it's no surprise at all. Ryan Patty, though, last week's winner from Atlanta, he's going to start from 2nd place, starting 3rd. How about this qualifying run for Josh Clemens? He's going to start from 3rd spot, and Kyle Purcell from Chicagoland Racing rolls off in the 4th position. A row of part-timers, Jacob Smith and Kyle Vincent Gilbert, going to roll off 5th and 6th. Adam Ball in that bright green and, I'm going to say gunmetal almost, gray, dark gray 19 car rolls off in the 7th spot. Vincent Loria from 8th. To complete your top 10, it's Cody Neal and Nathan Brzezowski in the 77 car out of Troutman, North Carolina. Logan Romney, Timothy Harper, they roll off in 11th and 12th, respectively. Cameron Thompson, Jacob Gladlish, the 14 car, making spot 14 on the grid. 15th and 16th, Charlie Widener and Brock Hersey. The rest of the field will go by as we talk about our Whiplash SimCam's race details this evening. Bottom right of the screen. Now, I know the first line looks like a whole bunch of numbers. It's 120 laps. The race is, that is, 120 laps. We go racing for 24 laps in stage 1. Then the next stage, stage 2, will end at the completion of 51. Now in the parentheses, you see each stage length. Out of the parentheses, you see each stage marker. Does that make sense? So each stage markers. Stage 1 completes at lap 24, then at lap 51 for stage 2, then we race to 120. That's 24 laps, 27 laps, and 69 laps. And I was informed shortly before the broadcast started, so the graphic isn't even updated, that we're looking at a fuel run of somewhere in the nature of 28 laps. So as we work out of the Geico restart zone and down to the start finish line, we are going green from California. Race 23 is underway. Cars all over the banking through turns 1 and 2. Ryan Patty takes over. Brian Smith has to deal with it through the first couple of corners. 3, 4, 5 wide, maybe even 6 down the backstretch as we roar to turn 3 on lap 1. Vincent Loria in the middle between Clemens on the inside, Brzezowski on the outside. They door each other up the racetrack on lap 1. But to the start-finish line to lead the first lap of racing, it's Ryan Patty picking up where he left off a week ago at Atlanta. Love this shot. You can see where everybody goes into the corner. Purcell goes high. Patty goes low. Vincent Gilbert running the top side as well. He's going to have a run down the back stretch. And everybody settles in. 32 cars strong here at California Speedway. Just like a week ago, Kyle Vincent Gilbert roaring to the front of the field. He's racing for the first spot already. Lap 2, and he's bringing the fight to Kyle Purcell. The couple of Kyles leading the way now, lap 2, now lap 3, and Gilbert was fastest. Now it's Brzezowski going purple across the stripe. Couple of cars riding the wall through 1 and 2. Hopefully they don't hit it. That is a scary place to be. If you can make it work, it's fast, but if you get just a little bit over the cushion, you're in the wall pretty quickly, as I think Brzezowski might have just grazed it there. Some battles behind the leaders. Brian Patty, Brian Smith, Vincent Loria. How much have we seen them fight? A whole lot, as our top 3 go to the bottom of the racetrack. Everybody else goes up high. And Kyle Gilbert now looking to the inside of Purcell again. Brzezowski to the outside. Brzezowski was fastest that time again. Car 77 ripping around the top side here. Sean Purcell reminded me that he's got a green race car. Somehow I always forget the 78 and 04 have been green a lot this season, and they've both been pretty solid. Of course, the 9 wins for the 78 car that has sported green a couple of times throughout the season. Single file, though, through our top 10, all the way back to Logan Romney and Jacob Smith. A couple of part-timers make some contact into turn 1. Smith all the way up the racetrack, going to lose a lot of time. Not a lot of spots lost, but he does go up to the top now of 3 wide with Finnegan on the bottom, Neal in the middle, and here we go for the race lead. Brzezowski going to soar right to the bottom and take over position number 1 for now, and is just going to get clear of Kyle Purcell. So position gained. A shot there from the 01 across the stripe. But Brzezowski soaring to the race lead on lap number 5, now lap 6. We've seen a lot of racing. It's only lap 6. My gosh. Purcell darts back in line. Romney moving through the field. He's up to the 7th spot, working on 6th. He's got some pace tonight in that 07 car. First start with this league. Gilbert now back to the bottom side, gets by Kyle Purcell that lap. Will go across the stripe in 2nd. Purcell, though, fires back and will have the spot into turn 1. Ryan Patty not far back. Of course, he started this race in 2nd, got right to the race lead, then lost it on lap 2. Brian Smith, Vincent Loria, they've been the strongest this season, taking up, 16 wins between the two of them. High, wide, and handsome, though, the 01 car, Purcell, right down on the bottom side. That is Kyle Gilbert, right on board with him. And leading this race still is young Nathan Brzezowski out of Troutman, North Carolina. Problems, caution, Stephen Tuck. He's turned around in front of a couple of cars at the back. It's like it might have been minor. I don't see much damage to that 10 car. Go back and take a look at what happened to the 10 car, and unfortunately I think it's going to involve one of our own here. Was racing with Bryant Lucas, Anthony DeSeo, right behind Evan Patinko in the 96 car. And watch here, Stephen Tuck for Dragonfly Racing out of the corner. Going to be tapped in the left rear, right there by the 60 of Bryant Lucas. And the 60 is going to have to claim a caution, I believe, for the first time in his career here in the Icon Cup Series. Sporting a Mark Martin-inspired number 60 on the side of this car, Bryant Lucas, making his second start with the Icon Cup Series race back at Chicago. Here just makes a small mistake and gets up into the 10 car. A lot of damage, actually, to the right side, mostly the right front of that number 60. He's a broadcaster, though. Broadcast with us at Pit Stop TV, unfortunately, caught up, well, I shouldn't say caught up. He kind of caused that one, admittedly. Let's go down and talk to him, though. And we'll get Bryant Lucas. Bryant, what happened?
Was he against the wall?
He was a little bit off of the wall, but I would definitely, if I was race control, I might have to put it on you.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Well, give me 1 second, broadcast. Yeah, I'll claim the caution. I don't mind. Am I going to the back? Sound good? Yeah, so I take the claim. I came off the corner there, and I was low, and I was really confused by how low he was. I was like, I expected him to be right on the wall, and I was prepping for that. And so, yeah, I should have kept it. I don't have that other screen. Yeah, I can't see him. I don't have triples, so I can't see that far, unfortunately. How's my car look? A little bit of damage on the front, or does it look pretty good?
There's definitely a solid bit of damage. You've definitely punched the right front of the car pretty hard. But I think a little bit of live strategy working, it's going to be okay, right? Get to the end of stage 1 here, 24 laps, pit, take that damage repair under caution. I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, these guys are insane. It's just so... I really got to commend this league. You know, you see a guy come in here who's a road course specialist come in here, and this shows you how good these drivers are. There is a lot of skill in this field, and I'm blown away. I'm like, these guys are kicking my butt. These guys are really good at ovals. Yeah, no, this is really cool. You get to see how a not so integrated driver would do.
So why California? Why did you want to come out and race at California Speedway? I mean, this is a really cool place to race, a lot of fun racing here, but why California?
California is a special place to me because when I turned 17 or 18, I started getting into NASCAR, and I said, I want to go race at Fontana. I want to go to a race at Fontana. And this is back in the Heat 5 days when I was running the Light Year Racing League, and I was called the king of Fontana. I was the king of California. You know, I'd always come here and I'd rip it up and win and have a great time. Lots of good times. We popped champagne here, you know, on the sim. It was pretty cool. We actually got a champagne bottle off, film, did it all. It was awesome. But this track's special to me because I said I was going to go here for my first race. You know, I tried to go every year, and I thought it got closed down so many times. But in 2023, I said, Dad, it's the last race they're ever going to do it, all right? And I'm 22. I was 21 at the time. I'm like, Dad, I'm going, whether you like it or not. He's like, I'm going to go with or without you. And he finally went, oh, all right, fine. And we went, and it was a cool experience. First race. You know, we got to see the last night race here. Xfinity cars on Sunday night due to the rain delay, man. It was so cold, dude. But this track is really special because of the stories and experiences here. So I was like, we'll try this track out. Maybe next time we should do a road course. Because, dang, these guys are good. These are some dang good drivers.
That they are. Well, we still have a couple of road courses to go at Watkins Glen and the Roval. We'll let you get back to work here on the restart. We'll even watch it from your perspective. Best of luck.
Sounds good. Have a good one, man. I hope you bring me back.
Bryant Lucas from the back of the field here. On board with him for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Gets them to Stephen Tuck a little bit. Whoa. Bryant getting a little feisty on the restart. But we are back green. Up front, Nathan Brzezowski tearing away with the race lead. Ryan Patty second. A big draft here down the back stretch. He's going to fire to the inside of turn number 3 and try to take the lead away. Valuable stage points on hand about halfway through stage 1. Patty to the bottom, now going to slide up in front of Brzezowski and claim the race lead for himself here, fresh off of the restart. Two by two they go down the front stretch to turn number 1. Brzezowski holding the 30 car up high, keeping him honest. And here comes Loria in the 67, here comes Smith in the 78. The top side just rolls so significantly off the corner. So much of a run to be had. You see Loria go to the bottom. Patty blocks him all the way to the inside line. All the way down to the apron. Watch here, though. Brian Smith has got to run. Where is he going to take it? Stays in line up top. And going to give a shot here to Kyle Gilbert in the 227. Now looks low a little bit. Not much room. These guys over the bumps, losing all kinds of grip momentarily. Kind of flying in the air almost through the bumps. Over the bumps, I should say. Gilbert, a shot there to the rear of the 30 car. Smith stays in line. Loria there in the 67. Hello, Kyle Purcell, right to the bottom in front of Nathan Finnegan. Romney going to paint the outside wall there on the 07 car, nearly squeezed into it by the 21. And Patty goes all the way down to the bottom again to try and block the 78, who's got to run. Whoa, that got close. 3 wide, they go through 1 and 2 again. Gilbert gets the wall. That means the 78 is up to the 30 here, pretty much uncontested otherwise. And it's going to be a move to the inside for Brian Smith on lap 15. Slide job there. Not even a slide job. He just took it over commandingly. Some tire smoke out of one car as Romney and Smith and even Finnegan get into it there, right in the back end of the top 10. Smith swerving down the front stretch, trying to break the draft. Loria down to the bottom side. We'll go on board. Look at everybody scrambling to his top side. You see Kyle Gilbert. Jacob Smith moving around to the 21. Oh, and he gets the wall hard. Down the backstretch. Just overcompensated. Or rather, maybe undercompensated. I don't even know how that would work. But overmoved. Oh, Brzezowski in the wall hard. He got the... Oh, Purcell and Cody Neal in the 4. His bad luck is going to continue here, sliding across the start-finish line. Hopefully it doesn't get hit. Oh, there it is. Missing that. He can't get away from this bad luck. Was racing in the mid-pack. I say the mid-pack, it's the back end of the top 10. Was racing with Finnegan, Purcell, Smith. That's where Smith got the wall, Jacob Smith that is. And watch the 01 here, bottom side of the racetrack. As we work out of the corner. Kyle Purcell just gets really free, overcorrects, boom, smashes them both into the wall. And the 4 tries locking it down to get missed by everybody, hopefully, then rolls off the brake for a second and gets hit. The 01 of Kyle Purcell just getting crossed up. Here's the onboard with him. He just got free. He flicked it back to the right. Big hit. Oh, nearly took out Campbell right there. Wow. On board again with Cody Neal. We'll see just how quickly it all happens from his perspective. Oh my gosh. Just nowhere to go. and then comes off the brake here for a second, and Bissonette trying to get through it ends up clipping him. And let that be a lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Never roll off the brake when you're crashing. just don't do it. It's a bad idea. But here's Justin Bissonette and his perspective. In fact, we'll go inside the car, inside the helmet. So you can see exactly what's going on. This is in real time. He's behind the 14. You see the force spinning, just a cloud of smoke. Picks a line, holds to it. And maybe could have slowed down more, so that might come back to bite him a little bit. But let's watch this again. We'll slow it down this time, as most of the field stays out. Some of the field comes in. We'll slow it down. This is half speed. So even here, increasing the reaction time twofold. There's still not much time to react, especially as that force starts to roll up the racetrack. Any racing driver will tell you, just try to be as predictable as possible when you're crashing. And as soon as you get those wheels moving like that, you're unpredictable. It's hard to say where you're going to go. Thankfully for Bissonette, the car looks okay. For Cody Neal, that is not the case. Neal's been in the pit lane now. It's like he just got there. The car actually might still roll. He's still on the lead lap as you see the field in the background. He might be able to stay in this race. He's going to need to for points. I just don't know how much he's going to get out of it. Other cars pitting under this caution, including the 01 of Kyle Purcell, I think, obviously, and he has gone a lap down. Or is going a lap down, rather. There's Cody Neal now rolling out of the box and out of the pit lane. Oh boy, that's going to be a fun couple of laps to the stage. You can see just how far over. So that orange tape on the wheel, that usually notifies the driver, hey, you know, that's the center line. You want to have that straight up and down in a straight line. So if that's cockeyed over to the right side by that, I don't know, 30 degrees in a straight line, and now it's center through the corner, that's a lot of damage. But other drivers pitting, including Bryant Lucas here in the 60 car. Adam Ball in the 19 pitted. Jacob Smith pitted, topping up on fuel. Evan Patinko pitted. Hanover Fist, Timothy Harper, Sean Purcell, Kyle Gilbert, Justin Bissonette, and Cody Eldred. And the interesting thing about Stage 2, while these guys can get ahead of the game on pit strategy now, come in, get tires, and stay out at the stage, they're going to have to do some serious fuel saving, or at least top up on fuel at the stage break, because Stage 2 is right at the length of a fuel run, about 28 laps. Geico restart zone again for these drivers. Up the racetrack they go. Green flag is back out. Brian Smith, the control car. Vincent Loria, a bobble down low, going to slip up and give the lead back over to Brian Smith. Nathan Brzezowski with a run. Ryan Patty there in tow, along with Nathan Finnegan and the newcomer, Logan Romney. Your top six. Coming to the stripe to complete lap 1 off the restart, lap 21 on the scoring pylon. Contact there between the 77 and 67, but Laurie going to paint the white line down low. And Brzezowski, the very middle lane. Romney slipping back here. Oh, and there goes the 30, sliding to the bottom of the racetrack. He gets back in line here, right with Romney and Waylon Turner. Waylon Turner really impressing here in his second start of the season. First start since Nashville. Up front, here comes Nathan Finnegan all the way to the bottom side of the racetrack. On board inside the helmet. This is 2 laps to go in stage 1. Stage points are paid to the top 5, so these 4 are safe right now. 5th place currently is Logan Romney. Side by side now for the race lead, Nathan Finnegan and the 78 of Brian Smith. Finnegan slides back down the backstretch, and Smith covers at the bottom. We have a whole field work out of turn 4. Gladjulich sliding, hangs on to it. 1 lap to go in stage 1. There's a fight for the final stage point. That is Romney and Patty. Romney up top, the part-timer. Making his first start of the season. Patty goes by. Romney has that slip up, and that should decide 5th. But down the backstretch, first is up for grabs. Hello, Nathan Finnegan to the inside. Help from Vincent Loria. And Nathan Finnegan's going to come out of nowhere. Loria's going to body the 78 up the racetrack and hold Smith back from the stage win. Hello, Nathan Finnegan. Stage winner at California. There's the caution. Oh, and that caution might put Smith out front despite Finnegan winning the stage. This is the race back to the line. A little bit of contact there. So Finnegan's definitely going to get there first. Question is, who got there 5th? It's still going to be Patty. And it looks like after the line here, Finnegan lifts. Expecting the caution a lot sooner. The caution, though, isn't thrown until right down here. You see the green light is still on. Let's back that up. Green light is still on there. And do I have a shot? I don't know if I have a shot specifically of a caution light. Maybe that's something I do for the future. Green light is still on. Still on, still on. There's the caution. So Smith has gone way ahead. And you can see the 4 wide right behind. That puts Widener... Almost put Widener into the top 5, so that throws everything off just a little bit, but we have got pit stops about to happen. Brian Smith going to lead us down. That caution might have to be worked on for the future. Smith, Finnegan, Brzezowski, Romney, Loria, the top 5 down the pit lane. Romney did not get a stage point. Finnegan ducks into his box. Everybody works on down. And Brian Smith, his crew goes to work on the 78 car. Gladjulich goes right on through. No service for the 14 car. The 04, it looks like, takes fuel only potentially. And we're really going to mix things up. That said, the 6 is your stage winner. So we'll grab driver number 6. And bring in stage winner Nathan Finnegan. Now, I know the caution kind of messed things up a little bit, but you are our stage 1 winner, Nathan. Came across the line first. How in the world did you do that on those last couple of laps?
No, I appreciate it, Andrew. Yeah, we got lucky with the 67 and the 78 kind of going door to door, and I think that battling right ahead of us really helped out with getting a run and able to get a good run off of 4 and able to keep it on the 67's door down the front stretch to take the white, and was able to sail it in. And just once I was on the quarter panel of the 78, I think, and then the 67 owe him big thank you for the push, but that definitely made a difference.
I was going to say that push on the backstretch looked like it made all the difference for you. Do you think you can keep this up? Do you think you can go maybe and get stage 2?
We'd love to. It's one of the things we've been missing this year is finishing off stages really strong and getting those points, those playoff points. So anything we can bag in terms of points right now would be definitely ideal.
And do we think strategy is going to come into play in Stage 3? I mean, Stage 2 should be cut and dry here again, just like Stage 1. But Stage 3, do we see some strategy come in?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a little bit of wear happening on the right side. It's definitely guys, if they're overdriving and not taking care of their stuff, there might be something in play here to be able to short pit and maybe take an extra set versus people staying out and trying to run the long game. Be interesting to see how it plays out.
And did the Loose Playhouse 200 help you at all in the broadcast booth for that one? Did you learn anything that you're applying this evening?
Yeah, I mean, definitely seeing Vicente and Caden, all those guys cutting it up out here a week and a half ago or so, definitely helped. Took some notes, saw what they were doing, try to imitate that as best we can. Even if we're doing half of what they were doing, I think it'll definitely help us tonight. So big shout out to Luke. Heard he's out of the hospital back home. Happy to hear that.
Well, from third place at Atlanta to a stage win this evening, best of luck here in Stage 2.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
That's Nathan Finnegan winning Stage 1. We'll move him back down to his teammates. See his stats so far. Started 17th. Going to restart 7th, though. The field getting very much jumbled around. Kyle Vincent Gilbert stays out under this caution, along with Jacob Smith and Timothy Harper. They will come to the green as your first 3 cars. The 2-tire stop out, a fuel-only stop out of Purcell. 4 tires for Romney. 2 tires for Stephen Tuck. And everybody goes back green flag racing. The sun gets lower in the sky as we have a bunch of new players up front at California. I love when things get changed up. The drivers don't. They hate it. Brian Smith hates when there's pit strategy like this that jumbles everything up. But boy, is it a lot of fun. Now we don't know who's going to be strong in this stage as Gilbert leads us around. Jacob Smith runs second. Hello, Sean Purcell in the 3rd spot. Timothy Harper's up here in 4th. And Brian Smith is going to push that 12 car. Maybe no, he goes to the outside behind the 07. I'll tell you what, with the way these guys are racing tonight, we're wearing out our wide angle shots. Got to stay at the wide angles to catch everything that's happening, including that big move out of the 03 of Waylon Turner all the way to the inside of the racetrack. Comes back up now, racing with Vincent Loria and Adam Ball. Now, Waylon Turner is one of my teammates, admittedly, over at Firelight Esports. Wanted to get in on the action. He's joined us at Pit Stop TV a time or two. Wanted to get in on the action, though, here with the Icon Cup Series, and has done so beautifully. Made a start at Nashville Superspeedway back in June, making his 2nd start of the season here this evening at California, and has really been a solid addition to the field, I think. Has had a lot of fun, has looked really good, has had some speed, and is racing here on the cusp of the top 10 again. Ooh, scrapes the wall, though, on the outside of turn 3, going into the corner behind Loria. Also want to talk about the 7 car right underneath Waylon Turner, Cameron Thompson back in the field. He's had a touch and go kind of season. He's here one week and gone the next, but good to see him back with us this evening. And Charlie Widener, 4th place last week at Atlanta, nearly was a part of that finish. And if they wadded things up, man, he could have had something, but unfortunately just wasn't quite in it. Ends up taking that 4th place. He is the top driver without a win. In fact, he's now locked in points. I believe he's 4th in the standings overall. Locked in by points. And is just looking for that first win. Doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight unless something really changes, though, for him. I say that, but this race, going the way it has been, you never know. Back to the front, though. We do know that Sean Purcell is just rocking it. Oh, he gets turned! Down the backstretch. He goes sailing to the inside of the racetrack. Is going to lock it up down there, and no caution for car 04. He'll get back going. There it is. There's the yellow. He had just gone up to second spot. And David, if David's still watching, is of course going to say that's bad luck for running green. Well, let's see what happened here. He got up to second spot by this, I think, where Smith gets the wall. So Purcell naturally takes advantage of the opportunity here down in turn 1. Paints the bottom side of the racetrack, works down low. And let's see, does he have something on quarter exit? What happens here? Just comes up the racetrack, was a little free, and just gets tipped around by the 21 of Smith. We'll watch the onboard here from Smith's perspective. And right up the racetrack, just right in the back of the 04 car. I don't know that either driver did anything wrong. As you see the lights turning on as well. I don't know that either driver did anything wrong, but it is unfortunate for sure that ends up happening that way. See the field staying out for the most part. We do have a few takers. I believe, yes, a few takers at the back. Those including Ladulich in the 14, Purcell in the 01, Eric Smith in the 79 is in. And boy, what happened to him? He just had an issue. Oh, Sean Purcell coming back through the field, locks it down, spins, and takes off the nose of the 79 car. What in the world? So watch the 04. Oh, the field just was suddenly there. He wasn't expecting it. Came around the nose of the 79 and knocks the nose off of that car. So a bad day gets a little bit worse for the 04 car. Eric Smith now in the pit lane trying to get that damage repaired. And he'll work back onto the speedway. Cody Neal, a lap down, still trying to get damage repaired. I'm just, again, so glad we're here at Auto Club Speedway. A really cool racetrack to throw in here late in the schedule, late in the regular season. See some scenic shots around the track during sunset. Just a really cool track to have thrown into the schedule. We can talk more about that schedule, in fact. Let's take a look at it. As we've got fans in the chat talking about Anthony Campbell in the 73 car. Well, let's ride to the restart with the 73 then. Take a look at the schedule. California here for race 23. We go back to Richmond next week, along with the NASCAR series as they go back racing after the Olympic break. Then we go to Michigan, which should be pretty similar to here at this racetrack. Of course, California built to model Michigan. Just a little bit flatter, a little bit different. Very similar racetracks. Then we go to Daytona to kick off the playoffs. That'll be when NASCAR, of course, has their cutoff race in the playoffs. That's where we're going to kick things off for the round of 16 with the expanded playoff format. Let's ride to the restart with Anthony Campbell. Green flag back in the air. One car way up top. That's Logan Romney way up there in the 07 car down the backstretch now. He's going to take over second spot. Brian Smith going to slot in line. Ryan Patty there. Nathan Finnegan, Vincent Loria, and Timothy Harper. Harper now through the middle. Finnegan checks up. That checks up the 12. And we'll have one lap complete off the restart. That was a big save. It didn't look like it, but that was a big save for the 12. Here comes Waylon Turner on his outside. And whoa, a big lane change for the 07. Logan Romney making his voice heard as he takes over the race lead at California on just lap 38 of 120. Brian Smith crosses him over, goes down to the inside. Oh, and Smith gonna shove the 07 up the racetrack a little bit, just kind of hung there on his left front and forced him to take a different line through the corner. Brian Smith is one of the best at putting you in a bad spot, and it works out for Brian every time. One of the best at it. 3 wide now for the race lead. Patty through the middle. 3 wide is how he won last week at Atlanta, but he was on the top side as now Romney looks to make it 4 wide maybe. Down the backstretch we'll go. I see Smith, Patty, Romney, Finnegan, Gilbert, Loria, Turner, Brzezowski, Widener, and Ball, and that is your entire top 10 in this frame. Gilbert there, hanging on the right rear of the 6 car, goes up the racetrack, will be compromised, and here comes the 67, make the top 5. Single file now, the entire top 10 aside from Finnegan, who drops down low of the 30 car. Turner's going to get the wall and scrape up the outside wall. He's going to fall back big time. Finally gets off of it, but he's going to fall down to 10th spot now. And a shot there. Loria gives a big get up and go bump to the 6 car. Finnegan gets him back going. And now Romney's in the wall. Gets it back off the fence. We are coming up on a lapped car. That's Cody Neal just trying to make it around the track. We ride on board with Romney in the 4th spot. Look at how tight these guys are for the race lead. Patty right down to the bottom with help from Loria. 3 wide behind him for 4th. And wow, Romney really had to get out of the gas. You see, whoa, Harper down to the inside. He's going to hang on. But you see the very injured 4 car of Cody Neal as Patty periodically took over the race lead there, temporarily I should say. Loses it back in 3 and 4. Neal to the inside. Goes 3 laps down. And Brzezowski sliding up the racetrack gets the fence. Ten laps to the end of stage number 2. These guys are good on fuel. They can run to the end here. 3 wide for the race lead, though. Your top 4 under a blanket. Looks a lot like Atlanta for the finish a week ago. Just a few different roles reversed, and the 78 is in it, whereas it was the 95 that was a part of things last week as the Camry entry. Otherwise, it's the same players up front as, whoa, Finnegan gets free. Stage 1 winner to the apron. So he drops out of it. That leaves our top 3 of Smith, Loria, and Patty to duke it out. Whoa! Hello. I don't think Patty realized Loria was still going to be there on a corner exit, and that got a little bit scary at turn out of turn 2. Romney catches back up. Here's Brzezowski catching back up. Widener and Ball even. As they'll pass Cody Neal again. He went to the pit lane, has worked back off the pits. And he's going to go 4 laps down. Things calming down for a moment. Still the action staying around the 07 car of Romney. Brand new here to the series, but has been very fun to watch so far. As Neal gets out of line there, he was in line behind the 67, his teammate. He gets back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Romney on the quarter panel there of Charlie Widener. Adam Ball drives into the wall. And he's going to sink back down in the 19 car. There's so much happening just in the top 10. It's difficult to fall back and look at anybody else right now. It's just everybody working the top 10, working every single different lane. Here's Waylon Turner going back by Logan Romney, giving a shot there to the 95 of Widener. Beautiful sunset behind the track. Somebody I haven't talked a lot about, but is in the top 15 right now, Evan Patinko. Really needs to have a solid day, and so far he's making his own luck. He does get into the wall there, but making his own luck driving through the field here. He's been as low as 29th after starting 21st. And he's currently as high as he's been all night long, trying to just methodically work through the field. He's 27 points behind the cutoff line coming into tonight. Would like to cut that down and make it manageable for these last two races of the playoffs. With Brad Delph not here in the 72, that's going to be a little bit easier. And Brock Hersey not here in the 24 either. Actually, no, Hersey is here. How have I missed him? Brock runs in 25th. I haven't seen Brock Hersey all night. He's been stuck back there. Well, Vincent Loria has taken over the race lead in that time of talking about a couple of other drivers. Patty now second, Smith now third, and Loria works the bottom there through 1 and 2. Going to get himself some time and start to drive away from these guys. Tires are starting to wear out. You see Loria, though, breaking the draft all the way down low. Smith follows. Brzezowski and Turner complete your top 5 right now. And we've only got a couple of laps to the end of the stage. So this battle is for the back end of the stage points. Finnegan needs to get them, so does Widener. Actually, Widener's in. Finnegan's in, so they don't really need the stage points. Who really needs the stage points would be Bissonette, maybe. In the 8th spot, watching this fight happen. He could use those stage points. From Collar City Racing, Justin Bissonette. We're on board with him here, watching the fight ahead. Loria has checked out by about 2/10. So really not by much. In fact, he's going to have a fight here down the front stretch. Ryan Patty giving him some pressure. 3 laps to go in stage number 2. Patty to the point. He slides up, and I'm going to call that a slide job. Crossover now from the 67 of Loria. And Harper to the inside. He's going to slide around and just hangs on to the race car. Loria down low, crosses over, and now pulls a slider on the 30 of Patty. Patty's going to have a run and go to the top side. Now the low side, caution's out. We've got a crash. It's Justin Bissonette. We were just talking about him. The 06 has got problems. And he is out of this race. Was just talking about the 06 car. Watch the 06. Through turns 3 and 4. Oh my gosh, it's happened to him again. Oh, and Sean Purcell absolutely demolishes the 06. This happened last week at Atlanta. A little bit deeper into the race. But Bissonette had a hardware failure there. It's happened to him again. Watch the wheel lock left, the brakes lock on, then the 04 comes up, has no clue what's happening, and just smashes into the side of the 06. And last week it was Patinko, this week it's Purcell. Purcell at least has a cushion. This will act as the end of stage number 2, which means Vincent Loria is the stage 2 winner. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable hit. There's the race off the pit lane. Loria's gonna win it. And he takes off with it. Brian Smith gonna fall back a spot. Jacob Gladulich stays out. And we'll talk with our stage 2 winner. So Vincent Loria, stage 2 winner this evening. That has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? After all the fighting you've had to do, we've seen a couple of slip-ups here, a slip-up there, but the 67 looking strong.
Yeah, man, this track is crazy. It's a lot of fun to race, obviously. Got a good little lead there for a little bit going, and kind of felt pretty good there at the end of the stage. So we'll see how it all pans out. I mean, I don't think you can do much with the fuel. I think you pretty much got to run it dry to make it to the end on a 2-stop, and just looking to save a little bit of tire at the start here. Just hang around the top 5, top 10-ish, and then with 20 to go, kind of try to pour the goals to her.
So a solid day going so far. Of course, you're 7 wins deep into being locked into the playoffs at this point. What is the strategy? What is the plan these last couple of races? Do you just try to go out and get all the stage points you can, get all the stage wins, I should say, as you've done so this evening? What is the plan these last couple of races to the playoffs?
Yeah, just stage and overall wins. That's all I'm really racing for. So I'm sure you'll probably see some crazy death-defying moves if it comes to that. Checkers or wreckers for me, so it should be interesting.
And then how about when the playoffs get going? I'll keep it quick here. I see we're lights out, but with the playoffs getting started at Daytona and then Atlanta a couple of weeks later, is there anything you could really do to mitigate your own luck and, I guess, make your own luck, rather?
Maybe try to make some friends here. But other than that, I don't think there's much I can do.
Vincent Loria, stage 2 winner. We'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
We wish the best of luck to car 67. He'll get back down with his teammates, and we'll go back green. Admittedly, that was the longest green flag run we've seen so far tonight, but he was the first car to get separation. We'll have to watch that 67 very closely as we embark on stage number 3. 69 laps in stage 3. Green flag we go. Gladulich stayed out entirely, so he's going to be a little bit slow at the front as he leads us back to the green flag. Going to rip through turns 1 and 2 right on the bottom side. I think the car is going to have a decent bit of grip still, and he definitely does. Stays out ahead of these guys through the first couple of corners. Might even lead this lap back to the stripe. To the start-finish line, Jacob Gladulich will just hang on to the race lead. Vincent Loria would like to take it away. And here comes Ryan Patty now to the bottom side of the racetrack. Right on that white line. He's going to get alongside the 14 and crowd him up just a little bit. That is going to have them just about dead even. Here comes the 67, and they get 3 wide, and a big move maybe out of Loria down in turn 3. Yes, a big send to the inside of the corner. He's going to slide up, and here comes the crossover from the 30 of Patty right down to the inside lane with a bunch of power, a big head of steam, and help from the 95 of Widener. Widener now to the top 3, fighting for second in a 3-wide battle. And Widener is going to go for the race lead here. He's going to stick that nose in clean air for the first time tonight. And Charlie Widener, for one of the first times in a long time leads at California. Well, then he slides back into second. We'll see. He's going to send it on the bottom here in turn 3. Going to get back to the point. Not quite. He's getting close. Widener back on top for a moment. And Patty gets the wall. So Charlie Widener is going to officially lead a lap. He's been trying to break through and get that first win of the season all season long. And now in race 23, this man has gone to the race lead. I've been hounding him about it. Every time I talk to him, I ask him, when are we going to see that win? When are we going to see the 95 car finally go to victory lane? Could it be this evening at California Speedway? Going to get help there from the 78, and now the 78 going to go for a slide job on the inside of 3 and 4. The slide job will go complete. No crossover attempt from the 95 as the 30 was down low. So that kind of holds Widener back as there's a big block from Patty to Loria. So Smith takes back over. Loria slides on through to second. Big run into one. Has to hold himself back, but he will take second outright. Brzezowski back into the fold. He's third. The rest of the field is just getting strung along with them. We've missed a lot of racing in the back because of how good the racing has been up front. There we go, Jacob Smith right along the white line. He makes a big move. And we are nearing halfway. Lap 58 now. Oh, Loria tried to get up in front of the 95, couldn't quite do it. Smith way up top. Look at Brzezowski in the middle in the 77 car. 3 wide will go down the backstretch now. Three wide for the race lead. Smith up top. Brzezowski in the middle. Loria down low. Brzezowski going to have a big send. Not quite clear. They race off the 4th turn. It'll be 2 laps to go to halfway. Then we'll be counting down from 60. Widener right on the left rear there. Brzezowski through the first and second corners of lap 59. Brzezowski holds him at bay, has a run here, but it's not nearly enough. He does have a run. He is closing on the 78, but Ryan Smith has worked out a big advantage now, larger than what Loria had earlier. The 78 has really checked out for the time being. 4/10 as Brzezowski hits the wall. The 78 is absolutely gone and loving what he sees as everybody else now races for third. Brzezowski's gotten away a little bit from the pack. Widener's going to try and follow that. What a breakaway the 78 has, but I gotta wonder if he's burning his tires up. I mean, he's been so good on the long run this season, but I have to imagine that getting out to a lead like this must take some decent tire wear. Campbell breaks into the top 10 for the first time tonight. Widener just gets the outside wall. Kyle Gilbert going to look to the inside. Waylon Turner goes down low. And Gladjulich is going to head down the pit lane. So there's the pit stop out of the 14. He's going to try and make this a one-stop race from here. He feels like he can go about 30 laps to a tank, so it's going to be real close to the 14 car. As we take cross flags this evening at California, caution is out. Jacob Smith, a big crash on the backstretch, including the 40 of Charlie Woods. Cars were scattered left and right, and the Purple Heart Homes number 40 has got a bunch of right front damage. Going to get started with the 21, middle of your screen. He checks up. Campbell's down low. Turner was up top, and Smith ends up turning the 73 and the 03. Jacob Smith just wasn't clear. Tried to find somewhere to go. Here off the corner, just goes up. The 03's already there. Boom, hooks the 73. He takes a pretty big hit to the outside wall, slides down the racetrack, and then the 40 was trying to avoid everything. Here's the onboard from Turner's perspective, and nothing he could have done, nothing he did wrong. Ends up in his first crash in the Icon Cup Series. And the Purple Heart Homes, owned by veterans for veterans, the Purple Heart Homes, number 40, unfortunately involved in a crash down the backstretch. Admittedly, could have checked up a little bit, tried to fire through the crash, and is involved in it. But Charlie Woods, or I guess Charles Woods rather, as the entire field comes into the pit lane. Charles Woods sporting that logo on the hood of that car. It's really cool to see. As I go back again to my experience last night at Hickory Motor Speedway with the Carolina Crate Modifieds. That race presented by Purple Heart Homes. And Dale Ogburn, very popular, well-known, well-vetted driver, if you will, in the number 1 over in that series, has Purple Heart Homes on his number 1 modified. Just a cool connection, a cool story there with Purple Heart Homes. It's not one I expected, but when I saw the 40 car had that logo on his car this evening, I had to talk about it, as we've got a new look up front. Nathan Brzezowski, with the race lead, stays out. Kyle Gilbert stays out with him. Third place, Vincent Loria. Fourth place, Timothy Harper. And fifth place, Zach Lockett. Those 3 cars all took, it looks like, 2 tires and got back on the racetrack. 6.9 seconds or so each, and Loria might have even done fuel only. In fact, we can go back and we can review it. So his pit stop, does he take any tires? Let's back that up, hang on. And no, it's going to be a fuel-only stop for the 67, so he's going to save a set. Of course, just 5 change sets of tires in the pit lane, and this was a quick one. Now, Lockett, meanwhile, I believe did take 2. So he comes into his box, and no, does not go up on jacks. That's fuel only. The 93, and I believe fuel only for the 12, yes. I thought that was 2, but that was no tires. Just fuel and go. Very interesting strategy moves. That's, of course, to save that set of tires, but get fuel to go the distance. This makes it a one-stop race for all of these drivers. And kind of throws the strategy out the window. We talk about it being about a 28-lap fuel run. In fact, let me update that. (27 to 29 laps or so. Some drivers can maybe make it 30. This puts us just inside that window to make it a one-stop race. Should simplify everything for these guys. And Brzezowski is going to lead us back to the green, fully into nighttime now at California Speedway. Green flag in the air from Barney the Flagman. We are back racing. Harper doing some blocking here on the restart. He's going to try and hang on to second. Loria, meanwhile, on the outside is going to take that spot away. And does just graze the outside wall along with Brzezowski in the lead. Here comes Brian Smith to go by the 12 car. That spot was easily taken. Gilbert now looks up top. And here comes Vincent Loria for the race lead. A massive slide job. He's going to slide all the way up in front of the 77. Have to check up big time. Remember, Vincent, you don't have those 4 fresh tires. And I think he was reminded of that pretty quickly when it did not stick. Brian Smith is on 4. He's expecting this to work out pretty simply, it looks like. And of course, the move from Brzezowski is for track position. The move even from Loria, Lockett, those guys who stayed, or not stayed up, but took no tires rather. Gosh. Those guys, they all wanted the track position. That's a big bobble from the 67 into turn 1. Smith is going to take over, run up the racetrack, and Loria crosses him up. Smith gets the wall. Harper way down to the inside. Where did he go? Comes back on the racetrack right behind the 6 car. 3 wide for 3rd. Finnegan now to the top 3. Gilbert, Brzezowski complete your top 5. Multiple cars in the fence. Widener, Patty, both get the wall. Patinko's just outside the top 10. And car 67 leads lap 67. Contact there. Harper gets into Brzezowski a little bit. Both of them hang on to it. Finnegan wants to go for the race lead here. You see that beautiful sunset behind the track. Weather conditions now. Track is cooled way down. 75 degrees in the air, 79 on the track. It is really cooled off. Oh, in the wall is Finnegan. Sliding is the 12 and up into the outside wall. In his return, he's going to get hit. Teseo absolutely drills the 12. And Hanover Fist drills the 01. Caution, lap 69. Harper, I think, in disbelief after that spin. His teammate right behind him, that's Cameron Thompson. His other teammate, Anthony Campbell, a little bit deeper in the field. In fact, Campbell's out of this race. There's the spin from the 12. Boom, outside wall. Gets drilled by the 15. Anthony Teseo, right behind Waylon Turner. Oh my gosh, that's just not Waylon Turner, right behind Bryant Lucas rather. That was just a jump scare almost. Right behind Bryant Lucas there in the 60 car. Lucas saw it happening. Here, we'll slow it down. In fact, we'll go inside the helmet and just, there's the car. Man. Big hit for the 15 car, and then the 01 ends up getting hit by Hanover Fist. Not really sure what was going on there. On board of Hanover Fist. He just stayed in the gas for way too long, ends up arc braking, as they say. And drives in the back of Kyle Purcell. Unfortunately, it's a lot of damage that didn't need to happen. That's just an oversight and a mistake from the 69 car. An honest mistake, I think. Certainly doesn't want to drill in the back of somebody, but that's the way she goes sometimes. And a lot of pit stops out of a lot of drivers. Of course, Purcell comes in. In fact, Cody Eldred is the first car off the pit lane. Kyle Gilbert follows. Zach Lockett follows. Nathan Brzezowski. Brock Hersey. Is Brock here tonight? Well, we've got a couple of different drivers waiting on interviews. Let's bring in Sean Purcell. And we'll bring in Sean after a little while. It's been a while since you crashed, Sean, but what happened?
The same thing that happened to the 06 happened again this time. He had a technical failure, blinked out. I didn't see that he had a technical failure. I'm just like, oh, look, some tire tracks on the track. That must have been from earlier. And next thing I know, he's appearing right in front of me with nowhere to go at 180 miles an hour. Engine immediately exploded, totaled, 45 minutes repairs, race over.
Well, you do at least have a cushion coming into tonight. We can bring up the points graphic and see that. 49 points to the cut line. That's at least going to save you for now, but how much pressure does this put on you for Richmond and Michigan?
Well, I am not very good at Richmond. Michigan is kind of like this. Hopefully it's a hotter track for that, because I tend to do better when I can take advantage of tire saving over some of these guys that aren't as good at it. I don't know. I'll just have to play it smart at Richmond. Just try to, stick around mid-pack. That's all that I'll need. And then Michigan, I can try to go after it a bit more. But, like I said, my cushion might be mostly gone now, finishing with such a huge field and being 31st in that field. All my guys I'm competing with are going to be climbing up, especially with these wrecks. Just feel bad for my brother on this one. I saw it happen live. Just a repeat offender just didn't even hit the brakes until the guy that was wrecked got T-boned. He's like, oh, maybe I should slow down, and blew up my brother, who has been repairing his car every caution all race.
Do you think you can get back on the racetrack at all tonight?
No, it's going to be one of those ones where even if I did get back with like 15 laps to go, it'll be super slow and then probably blow up immediately anyway. So I was just hanging out and chatting, grabbing a couple clips, and then I'm going to go play some college football 25.
There you go, Sean Purcell, after an unfortunate ending here. Best of luck at Richmond and Michigan.
Thank you. I'm going to need it.
Sean Purcell has some cushion to the cut line, but doesn't want to have to use it as we go back green on lap 72 of 120, just inside 50 to go. And we've got a side-by-side for second spot, Patty and Smith. And it's the same top five pretty much. These guys have been the top of the field, the class of the field all season long. Loria, Smith, Patty, Finnegan, and Widener, in no particular order, have been the top five this season, not only in points, but every single week on the racetrack. You've seen it here, you've seen it there, and you're seeing it again this evening at California. Cameron Thompson, though, would like to say something about it and break into the top five. He's sixth as you watch the battle for second. And Patty's going to slot in line behind the 78 car. Here's that battle with Thompson. Goes all the way down to the inside. Going to try and work that bottom on Charlie Widener and get by the 95 if he can. Looks like that won't happen. Stephen Tuck is in the top 10. Hello, Stephen Tuck in the 10 car. Remember, he got turned around early in this race by the 60 as Logan Romney goes purple, a 40.001. See Patinko up here as well. A good run going for him. There's Romney on the outside of the racetrack. So Tuck, Patinko, and Romney 3 wide. There's Kevin Gunther in the top 10 now. Haven't said his name much. We've been focused up top because this race has just been so good for the leaders. It's been difficult to focus on anything else. Right behind him you see some 3 wide racing. Eric Smith is in it. Adam Ball, Nathan Brzezowski, Kyle Gilbert, Cody Eldred. I see Zach Lockett back here. That completes about your top 17 cars as Brian Smith takes over the race lead on lap 75. Thompson is squarely into 5th, and he's bringing the fight. As Finnegan looks for a way by the 78 car. Lap 75 complete, clicking them off one by one. I told you this race would feel a little bit like an enduro for these guys, just long enough to feel like an endurance race, but not too long. I think 60% is a really solid length. You get some length out of these races, you get just long enough to have some strategy as well. And this is about as calm as the leaders have been all night long. Single file through your top 3, now top 4. It's a fight for 5th. 3 wide they go. Thompson down low. Romney up top. He'll get 5th spot for now. This is about as single file as the top 10 have been all night long. And they still all take different lanes through the corner. Thompson and Romney, though, side by side. They race for 5th spot. Thompson gonna have to give it up. And works down low once again. This track didn't need any help opening up, but it has really opened up as these laps have worn on and the track has cooled down. As there goes Finnegan way to the inside. You see Smith up top. Finnegan comes right back to his door. Whoa, look how close they got. That was real tight off the second corner. Finnegan trying to get that spot away from Brian Smith. He won stage 1. He would like to win this race. It would be his 3rd this season. He's won at Richmond. He's won at Phoenix. Gets the wall there out of turn 4. I want to give a nod to our partners with Pit Stop TV quickly. Whiplash Simcams, ATVO, and CC's Business helping us out. Also a nod to Cody Williams Designs, as of this broadcast, has come on board and become a partner. And you'll see more integration with the CWD logo here very soon. Whoa, 3 wide! That's going to be a crash! Patty's going to get hooked around, and Smith does a slight spin. Caution is out, and it's a simple slide for the 30. He's been avoided so far. And yes, everybody will avoid the 30 car. Wow. Our leaders with 40 to go have a bit of a crash on the front stretch. That was surprising. So Finnegan's down low. He's going to squeeze up a little bit out of the corner. Patty's in the middle. He's trying to find a spot there through the middle lane, and they all just meet in the middle. Smith goes for a slide. Patty gets hooked. And he goes for a spin. I'm really surprised everybody missed him. That was a really good job by everybody else in the field to miss the 30 car broadside on the racetrack and not make that worse than it needed to be. See Patty trying to get back to whatever spot the sim is putting him in. Looks like around the 15th position. As everybody's going to come down and get fuel and probably tires. This is still a one-stop race. I'm surprised we're seeing this many cars come down. But if they've got an extra set of tires, now is the time to use it. So we'll wait for the 78 to exit. There goes Gilbert down and away pretty quickly. And multiple 2-tire stops, or maybe even no tire stops for a lot of these cars. And Smith is going to wait for the damage. See Brian Smith still in the pit lane. He's going to take some extra time. So question is, does Loria take 2? And it looks like the answer is going to be yes. He goes up for right sides. Do we get left sides on that car? Yes, so 4 tires, okay. Gilbert then is one that I'm wondering about. He was definitely a no-tire call. Kevin Gunther is going to be a 2-tire call. And Robert Blewett has stayed out on the racetrack. I think saving a set of tires here doesn't really see the need to come on in, as we've got a couple of cars waiting on a wave around, those including Waylon Turner and Jacob Smith. Remember, Turner was in that crash with Smith. Well, as we get the 1 to green signal, let's bring in Kyle Purcell and talk to him. As he, of course, had some contact from behind. Kyle, we see you doing your best to stay in this race and doing a good job of it. What happened there a couple of cautions ago?
Well, I mean, first of all, at the start, I got 8 minutes of damage that is now all finally gone. And then, you know, a couple cautions ago, the same person that never checks up for a wreck didn't check up for a wreck. And unfortunately, I chose to avoid the wreck and got put into it through no fault of my own. So, frustrating, but it's as fixed as it's going to be, and hopefully I can make something out of this race, because I had good pace early, just made a mistake and lost it, so hopefully just clean race at the end.
Well, you are on the lead lap here, packing up to the back end of the field. There's definitely some opportunity with 40 to go. I mean, do you feel like you can get back in this race and go toe-to-toe with these guys?
I'll probably not get to the front, because there is lasting damage to the steering, but I think I could probably compete for a top 10 at this point with how many people finish.
We'll be watching for it. Best of luck.
Appreciate it, thanks.
Al Purcell from what we call the Care Center. He's still in this race. Talking with Bryant Lucas and Sean Purcell over there. Lucas still in this race as well, of course. Sean Purcell, his brother, out of it. As we work into the restart zone, Robert Bluen going to lead us to the green, and we go back green flag racing at the Auto Club Speedway. One car sticks out low. That is Charlie Widener way on the bottom of the racetrack. Bluen up top. Gilbert going to take the race lead. Contact between Gunther, Widener, and there they go. Big crash, including Eldred, including Widener. Brock Hersey is in it. Eric Smith, Hanover Fist. Parts and pieces all over the racetrack. Back to the restart. You're going to watch Charlie Widener get a run and go low with it. Nothing wrong there. Then watch the 67 and the 31, the gray car and the white and orange car. Loria comes down the racetrack a little bit. Gunther comes up. They meet in the middle. Contact is made, and they all just wad up. The 95 try to check up, gets hit by the 32 and the 19. And the one this really hurts out of all of it is Brock Hersey in the 24. Talk about him being in a very dire point situation. And this is not what he needed. Trying to get by it, ends up getting into Eldred. That car should be repairable. But that is not what he needed tonight. From Loria's perspective, you see the 31 down low of Gunther. Loria's coming down, Gunther comes up, they meet in the middle. Gunther at least is able to save the car. Romney was there as well. They all just kind of crash behind. Here's Romney's perspective. He tried to shoot low on the bottom side and gets into it a little bit. He's able to get away okay. Some damage for sure, but not nearly as bad as for the rest of these guys. Hanover Fist took a big header to the outside wall. And this is why that restart, or that caution, could have been the money stop for these guys to come in and get those 4 tires in fuel. That could have been a very important caution, as Hanover Fist just lost it trying to miss the crash. Boom, outside wall. Cody Eldred, unfortunately, in it. We'll watch the onboard here for him. He just got tossed around like a salad. I mean, He got hit from this angle, that angle, the other angle, a fourth angle, who knows. And this is going to change things up pretty drastically. So again, that's why that caution was so important. You see Patty getting a lucky dog, or rather a wave around. Right, Lucas is back in the pit lane. This caution especially is an important one to come in and top up on fuel on. And a lot of the field did exactly that. Several cars, though, stay out. Gilbert, Thompson, Finnegan, Brzezowski, Romney, Patinko, Eric Smith, Kyle Purcell is the first one to pit, actually. He comes in for a fuel-only stop. He gets back out ahead of Brian Smith, Joshua Clemens. Robert Bluen took 4 in fuel. Jacob Smith took 4. So the field has really been shaken up this time. Well, if it wasn't already fun enough, it's going to get a little more fun. Just this side of 30 laps to go. And the Purcells, of course, on that caution a couple of cautions ago, we're talking about Hanover Fist. Unfortunately, his day has come to an end. He will join Justin Bissonette out of this race, along with Anthony Campbell, Timothy Harper, Anthony Teseo, and potentially Cody Eldred. Zach Lockett is back in this race 2 laps down. Cody Neal's back in this race 3 laps down. And Sean Purcell, 35 laps down, is back in the race as well. 35, now 34 laps to go. Kyle Gilbert brings us back to the green flag. Oh, a spin in the back. Maybe they hang on to it. That was Cody Neal along with Vincent Loria and Kevin Gunther. I think Loria might have been sent to the rear as being part of the cause of caution. We didn't see him up front at all, and he was second after the caution. Well, second when the caution came out, I should say. So a completely new looking field now. Lap 87, 88. Gilbert, Brzezowski, Finnegan, Thompson, Patinko, the top 5. We're watching Brzezowski and Finnegan. Brzezowski, the 77 up top. Finnegan, the 6 on the inside. And there is some racing going on behind him. Kyle Purcell is back in the top 10. You see Steven Tuck down low. He was just run down there by the 07 of Romney, who nearly gets hit by Clemens. Clemens works on through here. He's looking for the top 10, and he has got a top 10 spot. Romney falls down to 11th, and Jacob Smith is back up here. Waylon Turner trying to follow him. Finnegan is through to 2nd. Brzezowski falls to 3rd. And 3 Chevrolets take command at the old Auto Club Speedway, now back to California Speedway, and whatever it might become down the road. Whoa, Kyle Purcell sideways out of turn 2 is going to slide back here. 3 wide, getting passed up by a handful of cars. He's going to fall down to 11th. Vincent Loria runs in 10th. And there is the 10 on the outside. That is Steven Tuck going to get passed up. This is the most spread out we've been all night long as Finnegan looks for the race lead. And Ryan Patty, the first car to go sub-40s, runs a 39.969. That is the best lap of the race and the only lap that has been turned at a sub-40-second lap time. Might see some more here on this run. 30 to go. Finnegan looking for the race lead again. Gonna stay topside this time down the front stretch and side draft the 227. He's gonna punch into the lead for a moment. Can he hold on to it? Working the outside lane, he should have a big run on exit of the corner. So even as Gilbert noses ahead for a moment, Finnegan's gonna have the run, and yes, does step ahead. So Nathan Finnegan to the point. Inside of 30 to go. He would love to go back to victory lane. Last week was the first time at Atlanta, first time this season since Darlington, where Patty went to victory lane, that we've had a winner that wasn't Vincent Loria or Brian Smith. I think I worded that kind of weirdly. But there was a long streak of 67 and 78 going to victory lane, and last week Patty broke it. Now the previous winner before them was Patty. So now you've got to go all the way back to Richmond Raceway to find a different winner other than Ryan Patty, Vincent Loria, or Brian Smith, and that was the 6 of Nathan Finnegan. Cameron Thompson racing into the top 3. He passes up Kyle Gilbert. Evan Patinko sits here in the 5th spot. And this is a potentially big night for him. Brock Hersey in trouble now. Remember, this guy started 21st. He's been as low as 29th. This is his highest spot on the racetrack all night long. And he's potentially going to go racing for the race lead here within 20 laps to go if everything holds on like it is now. But the point situation for Patinko is really, really dire. 27 down from the cut line coming into tonight. That is chasing Brad Delph. And you know what? Let's even just bring this up. Let's bring up the point standings. So you see Evan Patinko down in 19th. Now, Cody Neal's had a bad night. That's going to help him out. Brock Hersey's had a bad night. That's going to help him out. And there's a caution. Charles Woods turned around on the outside of the racetrack. This will bring out another yellow this evening. He crosses the racetrack just ahead of Bryant Lucas. Charles making his first start of the year. Was racing with the 07. Also making his first start. So these two have never run a race here before and make contact on in turn 1. Woods comes back down and wow, big hit there with Kevin Gunther involved. Ends up taking the 40 car out of this race. More than likely anyway. That was a big hit. Woods, I think, was trying to go lower and Romney was trying to go higher. And they met in the middle and boom. Gunther sees it happening, tries to check up, sees a lane, and then it closes right back up. Nothing he really could have done. The 07 of Romney got the wall after it, it looks like. And here we go. Pit stops again. Everybody going to come in. This is a very important stop. This will be the new money stop. Inside of 30 to go. Get tires and fuel here. You are good to the end. Everybody comes in, should all get 4 tires and fuel. Right sides go up for each of these guys. Left side's going on. Finnegan's going to be down and away first. And Finnegan is going to take a 2-tire stop. Brian Smith almost gets some big spots there as they work across the exit line. Robert Bluin's going to stay out. This caution will help the 93 out of Zach Lockett. He is our lucky dog. And Zach, you're our lucky dog under this yellow, getting a lap back. What happened to put you a couple of laps down in the first place?
Just hardware issues, man. I don't know. I got, I think, packet loss and lagged out. Just having a tough night. Didn't qualify good, and then hardware issue. So battling back to try to get some more spots here.
Well, it seems like these guys are helping you out a little bit with these cautions. Definitely going to help you get back in this race, as we have just over 20 to go. If you can get back onto the lead lap, do you feel like you have something for these guys?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love auto club, especially at night. I feel like I had decent speed all night. Just was, battling, being in the back and trying to figure out if I want to save or if I want to go for it. I think if I get back on the lead lap, I can try to get into around that 10 car, that 10 P10 range. So. Hoping for another one and hoping to get back on the lead lap here.
Best of luck. Car 93 looks pretty good. A little bit of damage still on the left front, but not so bad.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Let Zach Lockett get back to it. And Robert Bluen is going to be leading us back to the green. It looks like the caution has been extended a lap. Charles Woods now in the Purple Heart Homes 40 is out of the race, it looks like. Cody Neal's still in it. He's 2 laps down. So with this extended caution, this gives us an opportunity to move around a little bit and talk to some other drivers. Let's see, let's bring in Cameron Thompson in the 7. We see this guy on the racetrack a lot, hasn't been able to make every single race, but Cameron, you've got a pretty good spot when we do go back green here. Inside the top 10, just over 20 laps to go. How's the car feel?
Feels really good. If we can get a long green flag run for the end here, we would have a chance. I'm just not that great on the short runs, and that's my issue all night long.
We've seen some separation here on the last couple of restarts. Do you have an idea of why that is, why we've seen that separation when we have it all night long?
You have those back people trying to save tires, and these front people are just trying to race for the win here, get some track position, so I think that's what's happening.
So with this restart, we'll have 21 to go. Do you think we'll see that separation? Do you think this will be a pack race instead?
I'm feeling one more caution, so I think we're going to have a little bit of separation again.
Well, best of luck here. I know it's been a rough night for Harper Motorsports. Timothy out of the race, Anthony out of the race, but best of luck here.
Bye.
Cameron Thompson has been a long-time driver here, has joined the chat multiple times. Talk about his day. You see Just Cam TV on the side of that car, on the hood as well. I believe that's his streaming channel. So you can check in with him, I believe, over on Twitch. Should have asked him about it, but rookie mistake. Robert Bluen's going to lead us to the green flag. See everybody lined up, a very heavy bias to the inside lane as some drivers come in for a late pit stop there on the caution or are packing up with an EOL penalty from being the lucky dog or a wave around or what have you. This brings Gunther still on the lead lap, keeps Romney on the lead lap. Hersey is back in this race in the 20th spot. Cody Neal is just 2 laps down. He's trying to get back in this race, and who knows, maybe he can. We'll have 21 laps to go at this drop of the green. Robert Bluen back in control. Nathan Finnegan outside lane. Green flag is back in the air. Ryan Smith all the way to the inside. Cameron Thompson checks up top. Finnegan keeps right on the 99 car. Brzezowski hits the wall, 4 wide with Finnegan on the, or Laurie on the inside, 1 car on the wall hard. It was Jacob Smith. We somehow stay green through all of that. And up front, Bluen's going to lose the race lead. Finnegan goes by. Loria's down low. Brzezowski's up high. Everybody, every which way. And that is a lap around Auto Club Speedway. Unbelievable stuff. 20 laps to go. Thompson up to third. Smith up to fourth. And Brian Smith now trying to get by that 7 car. He will be able to focus up on the 77 now. It has not been an easy day for the 78. He's had a lot of easy days earlier this season, but the last couple of races have been very different for the 78 car, and it's kind of unknown as to why. Maybe just racetracks that aren't quite in his wheelhouse, maybe are in wheelhouses of other drivers. Of course, this evening being a bit of pack racing is part of it. As Ryan Patty rejoins the top 5, Loria's right behind. Gilbert's there. Patinko's still in the top 10. Kyle Purcell back in the top 10 this evening. Watch him dive through 1 and 2, 3 and 4 now. And Brian Smith gets real close there to the 77 of Brzezowski. Slots in line in third. Thompson's going to have a shot at him here, as does Patty. Patty going to give him a shot. So Patty gives the 78 a push. Thompson goes low and has to bite the bullet for it. A little bit behind these guys, Kyle Purcell goes on by Robert Bluen and Evan Patinko. That's 2 spots now for the 01 car. And the field has gotten very strung out compared to earlier in this day. I mean, Charlie Widener's back here, single file. Jacob Gladulich, Waylon Turner here in the 13th spot from Firelight Esports. He works the outside lane. Bryant Lucas. Welcome back to the top 15, Bryant Lucas. Let's do something we haven't done yet this evening and dial up Bryant Lucas, a commentator at times with us here at Pit Stop TV. And Bryant, under this green flag run, you're doing some battle, but you have a little bit of space around you right now. How much has this track changed from daylight to nighttime?
This track is completely different, folks. It's you got a completely different race going on here, you know. Everybody's trying every little part of this racetrack. There is no good lane here, all right? You got to hit that middle, low, anywhere, you know. You can be effective any place on this racetrack. It's just so cold, a good 78 degrees here.
I love that he can just jump right back into the commentary, Bryant. That's good stuff. His race here with Jacob Gladulich, I know you've had kind of an up and down night, as low as last, as high as 12th, as you're now racing for 12th. Do you feel like you can get up there and get a top 10?
Oh, that's my goal. I got to get the Whiplash SimCam guys the top 10, hopefully. We're going to try to slot in behind the 95. But now we're going to try to get that top 10 for the Whiplash SimCam guys, Pit Stop TV, you know. Thank you, Andrew, so much for this opportunity. But this is, I'm way higher up than I thought I was going to be. You know, attrition was a key here. But everybody's moving to the top side. Oh, that the track's changed there a little bit. Everybody's going to the top now.
Top side becoming effective. We'll check back in with you here maybe later in stage 3 as we're inside of 20 to go. Best of luck here, Brian.
Sounds good. Let's do better.
Bryant Lucas working down there on the metallic number 60. A Mark Martin look going on with the number. But we've got to get back to it up front. We've got some battling going on as Finnegan has gotten away to a half-second race lead. Smith is second. Loria makes a big send here on Brzezowski. This is for the 3rd spot. And that's going to be effective. So Brzezowski slides back now to Patty. The bottom is getting better for those passes. The top side, though, is dominant. Patty now slides back behind Gilbert, gets right in front of Thompson in the 7. Everybody working the top. Bryant Lucas, meanwhile, getting the best of Charlie Widener, is looking for that 12th spot. Had it for a moment. Now Widener powers back by on the outside, and Lucas is going to try the very bottom, maybe. Tries to go down there, is going to lose the spot back away. But Brian Smith has broken away now from the pack. He's able to start chasing down the 6 car of Nathan Finnegan. And last time we were on the West Coast, way back at Phoenix Raceway, this is the driver who went to victory lane. It was Nathan Finnegan. He's got a 6/10 of a second race lead over this guy. Brian Smith who's got 9 on the season. There's some contact. There's 227 and 77. As now the 67 gets clear. So Loria clear of the battle. Thompson slides in there. A lot of 7s going on up front. The 78, the 67, the 227, the 7 of Thompson, the 77 of Brzezowski. Patty, though, takes back over in the top 5. And we get single file now. Kyle Purcell looks to the inside of Nathan Brzezowski. The 77 maybe using those tires up a little bit. What an unbelievable race this has been so far. You look at the race info. 10 cautions, yes, it's been a slugfest, but 26 lead changes. Whoa, contact there with Brzezowski and Purcell. Purcell does a great job to hang on to the race car. Patinko there on the 9th spot. Really needs to get up on the wheel here and get some more spots. Needs to get those points. He's been up a little bit higher earlier on in this race. Now with 11 laps to go, looks at 9th spot. And wants to get 8th away from Purcell. Waylon Turner in the 10th position, working on a top 10 finishing spot. Bryant Lucas is through to 11th, his highest spot of the day. Robert Bluen, Adam Ball going to do battle. And Adam Ball is battling back from a lot of bad luck tonight. He was involved in a crash earlier. And is now up into the 12th position. He's been as high as 7th. Of course, that's where he started. Vincent Loria working with Brian Smith to catch up to Nathan Finnegan. And these guys are ever so slightly catching up to the 6 car. So I think the 6 kind of knows at this point he is a sitting duck. Just waiting on these 2 to catch up. As there's 1 lap car ahead of these guys. That's going to be Sean Purcell way down low. A Chevrolet, a Toyota, and a Ford lead this race. Nathan Finnegan in the Chevrolet, Brian Smith in the Toyota, Vincent Loria in the Ford. And it's a Ford and Chevrolet battle for 4th spot. The Ford winning out is the 7 of Cameron Thompson, who we spoke to recently. Now inside of 10 to go, has some speed. He wanted this run to go green to the end, and it just might. 0.3 of a second, though, up front for the 78. 0.3 of a second, the gap now to the 6 car. He gets tight, works up the racetrack, gets the wall. That's going to back him up a little bit. An opportunity for Finnegan to get back away. Loria, though, sticks to the back end of the 78 car, trying to help him out, trying to open this race up for the win. It's so interesting, the dynamic of this lead. Earlier in this race, you had Loria pushing Finnegan to get back up to the 78 car and keep the 78 from winning the stage. Now, as we've worked to the end of this race, Finnegan's leading. You've got Loria trying to push the 78 up to get into the fight for the win. And they're back within 0.2. Such an interesting dynamic. It just goes back and forth. As you see, this field has gotten strung out for the first time all night long. This is as spread out as we've been. There you see the 6 going down the racetrack. Everybody splitting the draft. And we're going to have ourselves a fight with 6 laps to go, it looks like, for the race win. Brian Smith has all but caught up to the 6 car, works up the hill, gets a little bit free. But he's there. We have caught up. 6 laps to go at California. And Smith looks to the inside, powers down there. Finnegan holds him down there. But Brian Smith has a whole lot of grip. He has just been so good every intermediate race we go to. And this is one of them. Finnegan is going to help the 78 car go by the 6, the opposite of what happened in stage number 1. So Finnegan has been usurped for the race lead. 5 laps to go as we come back around. Ooh, that was close. Finnegan back down to the bottom, trying to get the lead back away at the stripe. That would have been a photo finish. Finnegan loose on the bottom side. Cameron Thompson's now in the fight. Talk about last week being one of those fantastic Atlanta finishes. They're all jockeying around. Big block there from Thompson. Patty just hangs on to the race car. They are getting aggressive inside of 5 to go. It'll be 4 this time. They're all chasing the 78 of Brian Smith, as they have so often this season. I talked earlier about this maybe falling in the wheelhouse of others and not so much in his. I'll take it back. Boy, will I take that back. He's working on a 10th win. He's working to hit double digits in the win column. And it just seems like there's nothing these guys can do about it. Loria's going to have to get up to Finnegan and push him up there if they want anything to say about who's going to win this race. Instead, Loria goes to the bottom side of the racetrack and tries to go to the inside of the 6. You've got to work with him. You've got to work together if you want to beat the 78 and keep him from going to 10 wins. But Loria instead works the bottom. Thompson there in line with the 6 car. Maybe he could push the 6 up there. 3 laps to go. Patty, last week's winner, sits at the back of this pack. Oh, Finnegan got 3. Door slams a 67. Loria all the way to the inside. Finnegan's got a bunch of damage. Loria back on the racetrack, and that just might do it. That just might seal the deal for the 78. Thompson through to second, sliding a little bit out of turn 4. Patty now going to pull up. Cars are slow, spinning. This might bring out a caution with 2 to go. Bryant Lucas spinning through the infield, back onto the racetrack, and that will be a caution. We're going to overtime. Uh-oh. Waylon Turner on the inside of Bryant Lucas. On exit of the corner. Just comes up, ends up clipping the 60 car, who gets hit by the 14. You see the result of it. These guys were racing just outside the top 10. You see Waylon Turner go all the way down low, come back on the racetrack. On board with the Premier Racing Setups, number 03. Just taps the 60 car, sends him for a spin, and Lucas ends up spinning back onto the racetrack to bring out a caution. Right here, a little bit of contact, and then the 14 gets him. And he just kept it pinned right there for a long time. Ends up locking it down, spinning the car around a little bit, and back up just enough to bring out a caution. So, as you would expect, we'll have some takers on the pit lane, but our leaders are not any of them. The leaders all stay out. They want the track position. We've got some pitters, though, in the back. It's going to include Kyle Gilbert, Waylon Turner, Jacob Gladjulich, Cody Neal, Charlie Widener, Kevin Gunther, and Brock Hersey. And Neal is down to 3 laps down, so he will not get back in this race. The driver who will get back in this race is Zach Lockett. So lock it with the lucky dog, and up front, everything has opened up. We'll go into overtime, and this is the first time I've had to break out this graphic in a while. So overtime rules, bottom right of the screen, we'll have 2 laps for a restart. We'll have the green lap and a white lap, and then checkers will end it. If the green lap is completed, the race will be official. So if the first of those 2 laps is completed without a caution, the race is official. If the green lap is not completed, for whatever reason, if there's a caution, we restart again. We have 3 attempts, and after all attempts are used, a caution will end the race. That is, if a caution comes out. But at any time, even on the final attempt, at any time, if these guys complete the green lap, this race will be official. They race it back no matter what happens. So Icon overtime for the first time in a long time. We're going to talk to a driver who went in and took tires and is going to restart somewhere down around the 15th spot. It's Kyle Gilbert. Kyle, you're the first driver off pit lane with tires. How much do they mean right here? Why did you go in and take tires?
I'm not in this for points. I'm in to win, and I'm a little still upset about my troubles last week, so I'm just doing whatever I can to get back up there. And I don't really realistically think I have enough time if it's just one green, white, checkered, but I thought I'd give it a try. Not going to hurt me any.
Taking a shot for sure. I mean, how much have these tires worn off? You're in the car. I'm not. Tell us about it.
Hey, it's definitely a difference because the times I've stayed out, they've been able to get by me pretty quick. My right sides were at 86% when I pit there, so hopefully it's enough to make a difference.
Best of luck here on the restart from 15th.
Thanks, sir.
Kyle Gilbert going to give these guys a run for their money for sure at the very least. He's got 14 cars to go through if he wants to win this thing, though. So the field going to work around turns 3 and 4 and back around to the Geico restart zone, working into Icon overtime. Overtime rules for you on the bottom right. We're going to go back green flag racing. Brian Smith, the race leader. Cameron Thompson on the outside. Green flag is back in the air at California. Cameron Thompson surging to the race lead on the outside lane. Going to try and hold on to it up there. And he's going to get free, slide down and hit the 30. Big crash involving the 67. The 77 cautions out. A big one down the backstretch. And Thompson's just in utter disbelief with himself. Just a small mistake. It takes out the 67. And that is why I left the overtime rules on the screen. We'll re-rack them and restack them through just 2 corners. And watch the 7 off the corner, just got free, goes down, hits the 30. Patty gathers it up. Not true, though, for the 67 or the 77. They both go flying through the infield. Kyle Gilbert even. Oh my gosh, we just talked to him. On board of the mirror. He got free on his own, actually. That's how he ends up in all of this. So, oh, and then he does get hit. Oh my gosh, a massive hit from the 7 car. They were 4 wide behind that. I don't know how they all missed the 7. He swerves back down the racetrack. The 03 nearly had a bit of a moment. And this is going to prompt some more pit stops, it looks like. Nathan Brzezowski's got to come down. And he's the lone car I see coming down the pit lane. Never mind, Zach Lockett also comes in. Vincent Loria comes in. Of course, he's got to come in for damage. And Gilbert's down and away quickly. He's got some damage. He's crabbing. So unfortunate. That's going to leave the first car on tires as Waylon Turner in the 11th spot. So if we go back green and tires do matter, watch out for the 03 maybe, along with the 14 of Galadulich. Everybody else up there has stayed out under these couple of cautions. So it's Brian Smith, Ryan Patty, Nathan Finnegan, Evan Patinko, and Kyle Purcell. And boy, Patinko is a big spoiler in all of this. Again, back to the point standings for what feels like the 30th time this evening. He comes into tonight 27 points behind the cutoff line. He needs to get all of these points. He needs to get up there and get on the wheel and try to get himself a win. Imagine how this would shake things up if he gets a win this evening and moves that cutoff line around. That would make it just about must-win territory for Brad Delph, Brock Hersey, and Cody Neal. That would move the line, move everybody down one spot, and put Eldred on the hot seat. And Eldred has got 40 points nearly to the cutoff line. With Delph not here, I would say 41 even, is fair to say. Percy's had a bad night. Really interesting situation. If Patinko can somehow go to victory lane on this restart, that would shake everything up so much. So up front, it's going to be Brian Smith. Ryan Patty on his inside just got doored big time on that caution. Evan Patinko's racing without damage. He's got a really good shot. The 30 got hit. The 6 has been in the wall. Kyle Purcell's got damage. Adam Ball on the top side is going to line up 6th. And apparently these guys, we thought they were good to the end. They're all getting close on fuel. We saw this happen at Nashville where drivers ran out at the end. And they're right. I mean, this is getting really close on fuel. This is right at the edge of the fuel window. If we get another green-white checker and go to 3, ooh, we're going to be close. So, back into the Geico restart zone. They should have enough fuel, but it's going to be tight. 30 laps now complete out of a 28-lap run. Let's see what happens. Patinko got a bad restart. Patty slots in line. Finnegan works the bottom. Brian Smith is going to get away. He's got about a 10.5 back to Ryan Patty. And if they get back to the stripe, this restart will be official. You see the overtime rules on the bottom of the screen. If they complete this lap, the race is official. It's Smith, Patty, Finnegan, Patinko. Patty sliding up the racetrack, going to get the wall hard, gets into Finnegan. There's going to be a crash. Patinko's in it. And I don't think we're going to get a caution. No cautions out. White flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Brian Smith out front by nearly a second as everybody wads it up behind him. Josh Clemens comes through to second. Ryan Patty in third. Kyle Purcell fourth. Waylon Turner going for a top 5. A top 3 even. He pulls to the inside of the 30 car. Bryant Lucas making a move. Turner's going to get third. But out front, Brian Smith left uncontested at the end. Everybody else folded. It's double digits now for Brian Smith in the Icon Cup Series. Wow. Fireworks after that one. Brian Smith, the race winner. See the fireworks there on the backstretch. And Brian Smith is going to drive around and go to victory lane. Josh Clemens goes second. Oh, gonna door the 78 there. I think out of congratulations. Waylon Turner goes third in his second start ever. Ryan Patty, Kyle Purcell, your top 5. Zach Lockett got back in this race, races up to 6th. We'll go over the full results in a few. But Brian Smith is your race winner at Auto Club Speedway, California Speedway, whatever you want to call it. A checkered flag for car 78. And Patinko goes from racing for the win to finishing 16th spot behind Brock Hersey. See the very excited burnout out of driver 78. Goes and gets himself a 10th win on the season. On a big wild card night, nobody else able to go to victory lane. It is this guy who gets the big win. And we'll be talking to him, but let's go down and take a look at our unofficial race results after all of this. All of this melee in the last couple of laps. Just incredible stuff. Unofficial race results on screen. Brian Smith by a second. Josh Clemens in second spot. Waylon Turner third. We'll be talking to each of those three. Fourth place is Ryan Patty after the big crash there coming to the stripe for the white flag. Kyle Purcell, what a recovery. Ends up 5th spot. Zach Lockett 6th. Bryant Lucas ends up 7th this evening. Charlie Widener, Kevin Gunther, Eric Smith complete your top 10. What a day for Eric Smith, too. Involved in a couple of crashes, ends up coming home 10th spot. Stephen Tuck 11th. Robert Bluen 12th. Brock Hersey ends up at the end getting a bunch of spots and going 13th over Gladjulich and Brzezowski. Patinko drops all the way down to 16th spot. Nathan Finnegan from racing for the win to 17th. Adam Ball restarted 6th on that final restart, ends up 18th. Logan Romney, first car that was lapped, he ends up 2 laps down. Cody Neal, 20th spot, 3 laps down. Vincent Loria, Kyle Gilbert, Cameron Thompson. Heartbreak for a lot of these drivers, especially Loria, Gilbert, and Thompson. Eldred out early. Well, earlier. Jacob Smith with a couple of moments. Charlie Woods with an unfortunate crash late in this race. Sean Purcell. Actually, Sean Purcell did a great job of getting a lot of spots back. He goes 27th from 31st. That is a solid couple of points that he grabbed. Hanover Fist, Anthony DeSeo, Timothy Harper complete your top 30. Then Anthony Campbell and Justin Bissonette complete your field. We'll talk to him now for the 10th time this season as a race winner. That's got to feel good for you, Brian. What did you see in your mirror on that last restart?
I saw absolute carnage in my rearview mirror as I was taking that white flag. So I didn't think I was going to get it, and thankfully I did. So sometimes you got to get lucky. As unlucky as it was that the white flag or the yellow flag came out before the original white, got lucky with that one. So it's just how it goes.
Yeah, a couple of cautions, a couple of moments it seemed like just held you back here and there. We saw the battle to the stage 1 end where you were just beat by Nathan Finnegan. It seemed like this race was doing everything it could to get away from you, but you got up, took the reins back, and got this race win. Do we see you keep doing this? Maybe 12 by the end of the regular season with 2 races to go.
Well, I'd certainly hope so. I'm a big fan of Michigan. Obviously, if you do well at Auto Club, you'd think Michigan would do well as well. So I do want to touch on that stage 1 win for Finnegan, where the 67 ran me up the track. I certainly think I would have had a shot at it. So definitely didn't appreciate that out of Vinny, but at least he pushed me up to Finnegan there at the end of that final stage. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'd love to be up to 12. I think double digits was a big number for me. And yeah, we'll just have to keep it going.
That it is. The big number 10 wins. Now I'm running out of questions for you, Brian Smith, but 38 laps led. Congratulations this evening. I know we'll be talking to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks. Also need to shout out the 79 car. This is his first top 10 of the year. He ran a great race, so it's nice to see both Outback Motorsports cars get top 10s. That was an awesome job by him, and we'll hopefully see more of those as the season goes on.
Yes, a big day for Eric as he gets a top 10, first of the season, first of his career, I believe. So congratulations to him and the entire team. Brian, good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Great job with the broadcast, as always.
A 10th win on the season for Brian Smith will go down and grab second place finisher Josh Clemens. Josh, when this race started, did you think we'd be talking to you after the checkered flag?
Well, by the way the actual race started compared to how I actually qualified, I did not. I mean, I was trying to figure out the actual pace. Guys, I mean, I went back from 4th to like 14th in the first stage or something like that. It was, I didn't think I had the pace, but yeah. By the way the actual race went off for that one restart, 2 restarts ago, I think it was, or something. When I got into 21, I thought I was dead to rights, battling for 18th, and wow, better be lucky than good sometimes, I guess.
Definitely. You go from, I don't even know what spot on that restart. You weren't in the first frame, but you go through, drive through the field. I mean, what did you see on that last restart, especially coming to the white flag?
I was happy to be on the inside, and of course you see I think there was a 6 and a 30 start to get together, and next thing you know, they're going through, and the guys on the KUM Discord channel were just shocked that all of a sudden I just went through Patty's his camera, and they were just trying to be quiet and just let me finish it off, and I'm still shocked, and it's just I laughed at it the whole time. I mean, I thought I was battling for 15th at the end, but wow.
If we had gotten the caution for that last crash and we re-racked and restacked one more time and we had that final green-white checkered attempt, do you think you could have gotten Brian Smith for the race win?
Oh, definitely not. I probably had to go pit for the fuel that time. I was hoping that this was going to be the last one, and even when it actually went off before the start-finish line, I thought the yellow was going to fly. So I thought it was what, just, you know, thank the iRacing gods on that one for having a little bit of a delay, and gotta thank the KOM dudes for bringing me on, and it was a pretty fun race to watch, mostly. I mean, how many different grooves people were using, and I was just trying to save my stuff, and you just see 3 wide, 4 wide. It was a pretty sight from the driver's seat sometimes. It was pretty cool.
Definitely. Congratulations, Josh. Talking to you for the first time. I can't get the words out. Talking to you for the first time in the top 3. There we go. Really solid day for the 44 car. Hopefully we're talking to you again soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, and have a great week, and let's go.
Josh Clemens with a second place finish at Auto Club Speedway will go down and grab Waylon Turner, who part-times is a commentator here with us at Pit Stop TV. Third place for you, Waylon. Can you believe it?
No, I cannot, man. This is only my second race with the Icon Series, and I know me and you have talked about it previously about me trying to do these races more often, and just I know my mindset coming into these races is just, you know, do the best I can, but when the cards line up properly for a good finish, you know, I'm going to push, and some events folded. I think the cards went my way, and the risk paid off. Top 3, you can't complain about that.
Absolutely not, especially after being in a couple of cautions there. We saw you in the caution there with the 21 car. What did you see happen from your perspective?
Well, I was on fresh tires. I took the high line, and I noticed for a couple of laps he'd been getting kind of close to clipping my nose. And I understand, you know, things happen in the heat of the moment. Everyone's trying to push, you know, with the stage breaks and everything. You know, anything can happen. But I think he just misjudged it a little bit, and it's just an honest mistake. But, you know, in the moment, you hate to have it happen. And from that point, I was just hoping to be able to get all the repairs done so that way I could try to make a recovery drive. And, you know, you see the fruition of that.
Well, the Premier Racing Setups number 03 goes to third place this evening. Congratulations on such a solid finish. The Firelight Esports guys have got to be happy with this one, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, for sure. Any sort of podium for the Firelight team is always something to be proud of. You know, and albeit just a league race, a good finish is always going to be a good finish. And, you know, I'd just like to thank the guys over at Firelight Esports for having me as a driver and for helping me get on as a house driver for Premier Racing Setups as well. You know, they make killer racing setups every week. And, you know, I couldn't be happier to have them on my car every week moving forward. And I'd also like to thank my lovely fiance who is expecting our first child together, who I am very excited to meet. And, you know, I'm very thankful that she puts up with me doing this week to week, even if it irritates her sometimes. But, you know, I'm very thankful to have her behind me every day.
There you go. Waylon Turner, a part-timer, goes third place this evening. Congratulations, buddy. Good to talk to you after all that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Waylon Turner goes home in the third spot. Just unbelievable finish. We have to go back and get one more look at everything that happened there with the 30 car and the 6. So let's do exactly that and go back and take a look. So the 30, this is actually after it's just happened. So we'll go back one more time. And here we go. This is out of turn 2. So we're just going to watch for the 30 to come around here, and Ryan Patty just makes a big mistake. Big mistake. Gets under the wall. And it's a small one at first, right? It's a very small mistake at first. Just gets into the wall, trying to go for the win. Ends up being a big mistake as Finnegan gets into him, overcorrects, and spins around. The 6 takes the 96 and the 19. That takes the 07. And everybody else was left to pick up the pieces and just go right on through. Just incredible how that unfolded. So the 6 car here off the corner. Big crash with the 96. The 19 goes down there. Big hit for the 07. Nearly went up and over. The 14 gets into it. The 6 gets turned around. Even the 77 got the wall and all of that. Here's the onboard for Logan Romney. You see, he was next to Waylon Turner. Coming to the white flag. Oh my gosh. He was next to the driver who goes on to finish third place. You see the car is just broken at that point. No steering, nothing he can do. He's along for the ride. Ends up the racetrack. Boom, in the wall again. Well, that'll do it for us this evening from California Speedway. What an unbelievable sight there at the end. Fireworks going off behind these guys. Upcoming for us, though, we head out to the Milwaukee Mile. Next up for these guys, well, not for these guys, but for us at Pit Stop TV tomorrow night, August 5th, with the Misfit Touring Series. Then off to Indianapolis on Tuesday with the BRB Butt Kicker Cup Series at 8:45 Eastern. August the 6th, that'll be race 9 in their series, and the first one that we pick up here at Pit Stop TV. And then Saturday, it's out to Phillip Island Circuit with the North American Racing League in their finale of season number 6. Next up for the Icon Bunch, we head out to Richmond Raceway. That'll be in a week's time. August the, 11th, right? That's how that works out. Today's the 4th, so August the 11th we go racing with them. With this group, this same group at Richmond Raceway. Short track racing for the first time since, Iowa, back on Father's Day in June. So, almost 2 months since we've been short track racing with the Icon Cup Series. That'll be a lot of fun. And then it's out to Michigan to wrap up the regular season. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening. It has been a pleasure as always. That'll do it for us, though, with the Icon Cup Series. A big thank you goes out to Whiplash Simcams, ATVO, CC's Business, and now Cody Williams Designs joining us at Pit Stop TV. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you to each of you watching along. We appreciate it as always. And we will see you in the next one, hopefully next week for Richmond, but also hopefully tomorrow night. Hopefully you tune in tomorrow night for the Misfit Touring Series and their summer series as we head out to the Milwaukee Mile for what should be a bunch of fun. We'll see you there and everywhere along the way. Congratulations to Brian Smith, win number 10. We'll see you all next time.